talk about our idle control. We went through some of our setting in the setting windows. I think that's all good. We did turn off our PID control, the closed loop feedback control. We want to simplify this. We're going to have to go in and figure out what the base values here, so coolant temp versus our duty cycle value. The duty cycle value is going to hopefully get us to our desired target here. So we spell out our target here. We figure out what duty cycle gets us to our target. These values are a feed forward value, meaning they are where the PID control starts from, and you can either add or subtract from that value. So when we turn back on our closed loop functionality here, it has a solid feed forward value to begin the control process with. We'll discuss this once we look at our idle control tuning in the next tutorial. We have our ignition correction, looking at our idle RPM. This is our RPM error. The error is going to be looking at where we want our target RPM to be at for the idle RPM and where the actual RPM is at. So this is going to be a feedback compensation. If we look here, we also have our ignition control, enable ignition control, use correction table. So it's going to be enabling a PID feedback in the spark timing, as well as using this as another means to adjust the spark timing. The spark timing adjustment is essentially going to be in real time correcting our engine torque output at idle. More torque, more RPM. Less torque, less RPM. So if our RPM error is where we want to idle at, and we're below or above that, we'll either add or subtract timing to force the engine's torque output higher or lower, and therefore hopefully getting us to the desired target. So it's a whole kind of feedback system. We'll break this down, how this works, again, in that next tutorial. What I am going to do is set all of my target RPM here from, let's say, 50 Celsius and higher to 1,000 RPM. And then even down here below at 0 to -40, I'll set this to 1,600. And then between 0 and 50 here, I'll do a horizontal interpolation. We'll just bring that down. So I'm descending my desired target idle speed as my coolant temp picks up. I ultimately want to let the engine idle at 1,000. Now I'm doing that specifically because I have stiff engine mounts in this car and I get a ton of vibration through those engine mounts. If I have it at something like 800 or 900 RPM, the engine's capable of idling there, but it is really obnoxious sitting in the car. So I want to avoid that if at all possible. We do have another couple compensations here. There's ignition correction versus coolant temp, analog correction, which we don't use, duty cycle error correction for the idle. So a bunch of tables here we'll have to discuss once we get into that specific topics. Let's go here and make those changes permanent. Boost we're doing nothing with, so we can just skip over that. And now cam control is something we need to go talk about real quick. So looking here, our VV...
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.